Hello everyone, and welcome to this part 2 of my journaling series. Today I'm going to be talking about my plans for journaling in 2025 and what new changes I intend to make with my journaling habits. As I just mentioned, this is a part 2 in a 3-part series of videos that I'm doing about journaling. If you want to see part 1, I've linked it just above and in the description as well. Where I mainly just go over my journaling habits from the previous year and what changes I made. So this video we're going to be focused on the current year, 2025, and what new changes I'm going to be making to my journaling habits, as well as a few other ideas that I'm not sold on as of yet, but they've been floating in my mind to potentially explore this year. So first of all, I just want to quickly go over what's staying the same. So both my dream journal and my daily journal are staying the same for the most part. I mentioned in my previous video that my dream journal is pretty low maintenance and it's interesting to look back on previous dreams I had. So for the foreseeable future, I intend to just stick with it. And my daily journal is also staying the same for the most part. The only change I'm making is I'm lifting out the habit tracker section at the front, and I'm putting that into a separate journal that I will get to in a minute. At the moment, I'm happy with the format that I've cultivated over the past year with these two, but I'm always open to changing it up if I ever find a prompt that I do want to try or I feel like things aren't working anymore. Okay, so moving on to the main change for this year in 2025 is my goals journal. So this year I'm starting a goals journal filled with yearly and quarterly goals of things that I want to accomplish. This ranges from all sorts of things like read 26 books to go to 12 live shows, etc., etc. So it can be any sort of goal, whether it be like social or like economical, anything really. There's a few reasons for this. Mainly though, there are things that I want to achieve this year, like reading more and writing a visual novel. That's another of my goals this year. And I think having this journal will help motivate me to do those things. The format I came up with for this combines the habit tracker from my daily journal with a few other ideas from a video by Ali Abdal, which I'll link up here and in the description, as well as some homebrewed things by myself that I just kind of made up. So the very first page of this journal is simply just a list of all of my goals for the year, along with a progress bar if it's a quantitative goal. For example, read 26 books, and each time I read one, I fill in a little bit on the progress bar. I think visualizing your achievements is a big motivator, so this allows me to have just an overall glance at the year to see how I'm tracking so far and if there's anything I'm falling behind on. So after that first page listing all the goals, I have a 2-page spread for each goal. So on the first page, I ask myself 4 things. I define the goal. I ask myself, how will the goal be measured? What are the potential obstacles/challenges to achieving the goal? And how will these obstacles/challenges be overcome? So the reason that I've chosen these things specifically is to kind of just clearly outline like what the goal is and make sure that it's not something that is like vague or nebulous. Like I want to get down with like a very fine precision what exactly it is that I'm trying to achieve. By having a way of measuring it, obviously it just makes it something that's more trackable. So for something like read 26 books, as I mentioned, it would just be as simple as marking it off on the progress bar whenever I do read a book. Coming up with potential obstacles or challenges to achieving the goal, I think helps to prevent myself from falling into any pit traps that you might commonly fall into, like when you're trying to achieve a goal. So by just kind of thinking about a few of those things that would cause you to fall behind or give up on a goal, you're able to preemptively have solutions for those. So it goes a long way in terms of continuing to motivate you after that initial boost, you know, when it's like the start of the new year and it's like, I want to do all these things. And then a month goes by and it's like, I give up, you know. On the second page for each goal, I have a goal tracker, which is just a more detailed and fleshed out version of the little progress bar on the front page. So for example, for the Read 26 books, I have a list going from 1 to 26, and I just write the book that I read and the day that I finished reading it. As I mentioned before, again, apart from just being able to keep a record of how I'm doing, it serves as a visual motivator to see, like, if I've made it this far within the year and it's like I'm still doing well, then I should be able to make it to the rest of the year. Or something I'm already finding out is it feels really, really great when I'm ahead of schedule for like any of my goals. After the 2-page spread for each goal, I have the habit tracker from my daily journal that I've simply moved to here to keep all my goal tracking stuff in the one place. The only change I've made to it really is I'll try to have a little weekly mini goal for each of my yearly goals. So for example, for the Read 26 books, which is roughly one every 2 weeks, I'll just get the page count of whatever book I'm reading at the moment and split it in two. So, I have it right here. For example, I'm currently reading Blood, Sweat and Pixels by Jason Schreier. So my current weekly goal is to read, I think it was 138 pages. About that, yeah. It does help to try and think of a way to be able to break down these goals into smaller chunks as well. Like for example, for the Go to 12 live shows thing, my weekly mini goal for this week is just to find one and like schedule it in rather than just attending it. So having something small that is able to contribute to the goals really helps keep the ball rolling. Lastly, I haven't actually started this yet because I only just got this up and running like a week ago. But I plan to have weekly journal entries in here where I'll just check in with myself about how the week went in terms of the goals I set for myself, what I'm doing well at, what I'm falling behind on, and if I need to make any changes or adjustments to make that happen. It's kind of similar to the weekly reflections that I used to do in my daily journal, but more targeted specifically towards goals. So that's why I think it will be a lot more useful than my old weekly reflections, which I ended up scrapping. So I have only just had this journal for about a week or so, but I've had the goals in mind since the start of the year, and so far I have to say it's going really well. In the 6 weeks, I've probably read as much as I did all of last year, which is really, really good, honestly. It's like I've wanted to get back into reading a lot more, and just having something as small as this, where it's just a little indicator, read this many pages per week, I think it's made a really big push for me in motivating me to achieve all these things that I want to do this year. So that's all the concrete ideas I have in place at the moment for this year. However, I have thought about a few further changes or additions to my journaling habits that I want to make. One thing is that having a commonplace journal is something that interests me. It would be nice to have somewhere to collect idle thoughts or concepts, as well as just snippets of things that like inspire or motivate me. I'm not sure if it would be getting out of hand to start doing that too, as I'm already managing 3 journals now with the daily journal, the dream journal, and the goals journal. I don't want to overdo things and then ultimately lose productivity by obsessing over it too much, I want to try and make everything as like succinct as possible and not go too crazy with it. I have also thought about a more note-focused journal that I would carry around with me to write about things that happen in the day more immediately than I would with my daily journal by writing about it at the end of the day. I am definitely inspired by Tim Kaine and the depth that he has written down the events of his life. But again, I'm not sure if I'd be taking too much time out of my life by doing that. And then lastly, the other thing is it's not as tempting for me, but it has crossed my mind to restart my gratitude journal again. It wouldn't be too time consuming, honestly, because it is only a weekly entry. It's more so that it would just be difficult to write about people and send it to them. And I also don't know how much value I would be getting out of it because I wasn't really feeling too much value from it when I was doing it at the start of last year. So that's all my plans for 2025 at the current moment. If you enjoyed, please like this video and comment below what plans you have for journaling in 2025. Or if you have any ideas for me on things that I should do, I would really appreciate it because I'm always open to new ideas. And maybe I can pick up something new, you never know. In the final part of my series on journaling, I'm going to be talking about the advice that I would give to anyone who is new to journaling or currently journaling. So that's planned to come out in about a week or two. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you in part 3.
Oh.